Felicia.
All awkward and hi, I'm Giancarlo.
And this is our review of
Night Eternal. In Night Eternal, players play as vampires jockeying for influence, position, and ultimate control of the great viral faction from HBO series True Blood, the Authority, and the Monarchy. In the box you'll find 70 blue agent cards, 30 red immortal cards, 5 double-sided faction loyalty tokens, 2 blood stakes faction markers, 95 glass beads representing blood denominations, 10 for the big dark ones, 5 for the red, and 1 for the clear, a cloth bag with the Night Eternal logo on it and lock mechanism, and of course, the rulebook. Be the player with the most blood when one of your foes bleed out to become supreme ruler of the night.
Here's how to set up. Give each player 15 blood beads worth, times the number of players you are. Place the 2 blood stake markers in the middle of the table with adequate space between them. Now shuffle the agent cards and deal out 5 to each player. Then place the deck face down to form the agent deck. Shuffle the immortal cards and deal out 1 to each player. Place that deck down now to form the immortal deck. Give each player a faction loyalty token, and you're now ready to bleed out your opponents.
The game will be played over several battle rounds until one player doesn't have any blood beads left at the end of a battle round. A battle round usually lasts 3 turns and ends when all players have played 3 cards and players collected the blood beads from the stake tokens they've won. Let's get into it in detail. At the beginning of every battle, flip the top card of the Immortal deck, placing it face up. Now each player will ante the amount of blood to the Immortal's faction token and half round up to the other faction token. Now, starting with the oldest player, he'll play a card from his hand face up in front of him. The card will have a strength value and an effect in the text. The effect on the text will only trigger if the strength value is equal to or less than the card previously played by the player to his right this turn. So, going first in a turn will always trigger the card ability since no one else played that turn. When you play the first card, you will favor a faction. Take your token and put it on the faction side up for all to see. Then play passes to the next player in a clockwise order. Now he will have to play a card, again, seeing if the text ability triggers or not, and placing his token face up on his favorite faction. Play continues like this until everyone played a card. Now the second turn begins. The player with the highest strength value of the card played last turn will go first this turn. Play continues this way until all players have played 3 cards. Now scoring ensues. The player with the highest alliance of any given faction will win those beads and add them to his blood pool. An alliance is simply the total strength of each card of the same faction. At the end of the battle, see if any player has blood beads left after paying off their debt. If all players still have blood beads, we go into a new battle round. Each player draws 1 card from the agent deck unless they have 10 or more cards.
Let's talk about other mechanics that spice up the game. Should you at the end of your turn manage to play 3 cards with the same name, you've just made a special alliance called a trinity. When that happens, each opponent will give you blood beads equal to the middle strength value amongst the cards. So sometimes it's wise to keep 2 cards with the same name to hopefully get the third and form a trinity. Another mechanic that you need to keep an eye out is when you're left with 1 card. If at the start of your turn you only have 1 card in hand, draw agent cards until you have 5 and remove blood beads from your pool equal to the strength of a card you played. If there are no cards in front of you, reveal the top card of the agent deck and pay its cost in blood. And lastly, should a player not have enough blood to pay the ante, mark down the deficit. He's not out of the game just yet. He may manage to stay in the game should he win some blood and have some left over after he paid that debt. If not, that marks the end of the game and the player with the most blood wins.
First off, let me say that none of us here at BTD, besides Felicia, watched HBO's True Blood, not because we don't like it, but because we have no time and need to review so many more games. That being said, it really doesn't matter. This game blew us out of the water, and you don't need to watch the show to enjoy it. We really, surprisingly love this game. We say surprisingly because we're just expecting another card game. This is far from it. The thing we really liked about this game is the essence of the politics and vampire myth that they captured. Remember, there is only one winner, and even if you didn't bleed out, if you're not the top dog or werewolf with the most beads, well, you're just as good as the person that did bleed out. So there's constant alliance shift, trying to stop the one in the lead or helping the one with the least blood to stay in the game and further your strategy. and that aspect of constant player interactions we thoroughly enjoyed. The artwork and style was nice too. The black and white look gave it this dark, macabre feel that fit well with the theme. I mean, the tokens and beads are good enough quality. Then you get into this great looking cloth bag, complete with the Night Eternal logo and amazing drawstring and lock. And then you get to the cards. The cards, after only half a dozen gameplay, look like they were the casualties of an all-out war between vampires and werewolves. The quality on the cards is subpar, and personally, we would have gone without the logo on the bag and go with better cardstock. But hey, we're reviewers of board games, not manufacturers of them. Night Eternal does lose point there, but don't let that stop you from purchasing it. It's more of a trick-taking game than poker, we would say, where alliance shift from round to round and strategy abounds. Do you play your high-valued card and go first next turn? Do you play a lower valued card and do its effects? Or do you play a specific card to secure your winnings for that faction? How do I help out the weakest player from getting eliminated so I can overtake the strongest player? It's a great game. There's an element of luck on the cards you draw, but you do have control on how to play the cards dealt to you. We did find the magic number for this game is between 3 and 4 players. We strongly recommend you pick up Night Eternal. We also strongly recommend you pick up sleeves for the cards for this game. Nonetheless, we give Night Eternal 8 pints of blood out of 10.